Hey, Scuffy. And updates because I didn't do them last week or the week before. Yeah. It got really hot and I spent a couple of days camped out in the lounge room with the air conditioner because it was bad. It got to 43 degrees, which is, I worked it out the other day. I think it was like 109, 110 Celsius, just as an idea. No wind or anything like that, so yeah, I camped out in the AC. Um, And then we've just been doing other stuff because Andrew's had a few days off over Christmas and New Year. Plus, me and not knowing how I was going to go for Christmas and New Year and the anniversary of my pop's death and stuff. And yeah, that's the whole thing. Um, I didn't have any breakdowns. I didn't cry or anything for Christmas or for New Year or for Pop's anniversary. So it's weird to me, and I've been feeling a little guilty, but at the same time, it's just like, well, with all the shit that's happened this year, I'm sort of feeling detached and sort of. There's been a lot. So, yeah, maybe that's why. But either way, I got through it alright. Still had like I was a bit sort of emotionally all over the place and stuff, but it wasn't too bad. So, yeah. Stitchy wise, I've gotten a little bit done. Oh, don't fall. Everything falls anyway. So that's where I'm at in the teddy bear sampler. It's the only one that I've worked on. Like I said, but because Andrew's had a couple of days off, we've been doing some stuff. Like, we finally organised the lounge room. We moved all the furniture where we're going to put it. We've made some plans for things that we want to get to put in there. We went to Engadine to get a new lounge because someone was giving away like a fold out one, like a sofa futon sort of thing, which is much better because then if that way, now that we have that we got for free, if we need to crash out in the lounge room because it's too hot the other end of the house, we can without having to try and curl up on one of the lounges that don't fold out. So we did that. We sorted some sewing stuff out, so now we've got the sewing machine in its place. It's also in the lounge room, actually. And then we've just been doing some like general housework and stuff. Andrew has been working on the garage. We've painted a little bit more, and yeah, we're just sort of doing stuff. So I haven't really done much in the way of stitching. I do have some stuff to show. That's just DMC that I've got to put on things. I have another floss thing for Fablicious. This was, yep. This one came just before Christmas. I'm actually kind of annoyed because I'm still waiting on some other packages. One of which is my hair dye because it's getting kind of bad. It's really, like, there's a significant amount of regrowth there, and it's a lot more faded than it looks at the moment. So, yeah, I'm waiting for my hair dye so I can get that sorted. My hair's all over the place. So, Fablicious. This one is Sprinkling. So it's greens and pinks and yellow. There's like a sort of a brownie colour where it mixes. Ocean Waves. There's purple, a greenish blue, and a blue. It's more of an aqua. This one is Superstar. And it's, yeah, pink and black and grey. Is that fully black though? I don't think it's a full black though. It's more just a really dark grey. This one's Spun Sugar. And it's yellow and like a peachy pinky colour. It's a light pink. It's Unicorn Dreams. So that's purple and it seems more like an orangey pink. There's not as much light in my room now because on the outside of the house, my room and lounge room have like a shade cloth thing that you can drop down. So we dropped that down when it was really hot to try and stop some of the sun from coming in here. So that's still down, so there's not as much light. This one's Woodstock, and it's purple, pink, and brown. It's like a very light brown. And this one is rhubarb and custard. So there's a brown, a pink with purple. This one is wild grass, and it's like it's got a bit of green to the bottom, and then there's like a light blue and some brown. Cappuccino, which is pink and brown. Why is it pink for a cappuccino? I wouldn't expect pink. This one's Tiger Lily, and it's like an orange with a really dark grey. There's a little hint of green down the bottom. So that's that one. That's the only Fiberlicious stuff I've gotten. I paid my invoice for this month's club yesterday, so that one should ship out soon, and I'll probably get it. Like, I usually get them towards the end of the month, just because it takes a little while to get from Canada to here, because they're located in Canada now, not the US. But I will bobbinate those. I've still got a whole bunch of bobbins that I've got to sort out and put in there. There's Fiberlicious and DMC in there that I've still got to sort. I've got 2 monthly clubs to bobbinate, plus 2 random DMCs. So that's on the list of things to do at some point. I have to get my progress tracker sorted for this year. So I've printed them out. There's 2 sheets, and it's just you put the project and the month, and then you mark off if you start a new project or finish one, or if you stitch at least 100 stitches on it. Yeah. So I've printed those out. I've got to fix those up and then tape them to my patterns book. What else? I'm making a pillow out of this. I picked it up at Spotlight last week because they had a 40% off fabric. I went to look to see if they had the normal Sugar Skull one, because I have a curtain rod on my window now. It's a black one. It's got the pretty stabby pointy bits down the end. So yeah, I actually have a curtain rod now. So now I can look at fabrics for curtains, because I want to make my own. I've never found any store-bought ones that are nice, so I make my own. And I want something, I actually wanted something with gas masks, because I've got, up on the other side of the window, I've got my gas mask sitting there. So I was thinking, oh, it'd be cool if I had like a fabric with like damask, I don't know, like the really pretty sort of flowy Victorian-esque medieval sort of stuff. You probably know what I'm talking about. But yeah, with like some gas masks in it, but I can't find anything like that. So I was like, oh wait, there was this Sugar Skull stuff, fabric at Spotlight. Let's go have a look and see if they got that while they got the 40% off. They didn't have any, but they had Sugar Skull cats. So I'm going to make a pillow out of it. I only got a little bit, so yeah. We'll make some cats out of that. And a pillow. Let's make some cats. Oh, and while we were unpacking some of the stuff, I came across some posters and stuff. Now, when I moved in with Andrew, I lost some of my posters. I lost, I had a really big Arthas poster that went missing, and I had a couple of other ones that went missing. I had one that was Nova from StarCraft that went missing at some point. And there was a Victoria Francis one that got damaged. It got torn pretty much in half, which pissed me off. And it happened during one of the numerous moves in the last couple of years. So I don't know when or who or anything, but I also had a Tech Girl poster. And it was only a small poster. I'd bought it at Supernova, and like direct from the artist who did it. It's like a fan art poster. And they'd signed it and stuff, and I thought that was one of the ones that I'd lost. Well, we found it. And it makes no sense where I found it because it was rolled up, sitting in between two of the posters that I had up at the place we were living in before we moved in here. So somehow it magicked its way in between two of the posters I took down off my wall and rolled up when we moved. I haven't seen this thing in years. So I have no idea how, but I'm happy. So I've ordered some more poster strips so I can actually put it up on my wall because Tank Girl! Like, yes. Tank Girl. Yeah. So I'm really happy that we found that because like I said, I haven't seen that thing in years. So I just sort of assumed that it had gone missing. But no, it's cool. So, what else? IUD update, just a quick one because there's not much happening at the moment. So I've had it for almost a month now. I've had pretty much no spotting. I've had a very rare cramp here and there, but that's about it. I got my strings shortened, and there's been no other issues. I am now coming up to my first actual period on it, so we'll see how it goes over the next couple days. I was spotting a little bit yesterday and the day before, but today seems fine. Yeah, so that's about it. There's been no complications with it, no issues. It's been fine, which still scares the absolute fuck out of me. Insomnia is playing up like a motherfucker, but because the weather keeps going from like, like today it's fairly cold. At least it was really cold this morning. When I was coming home probably about half an hour ago, the sun was like pretty brutal. It was pretty warm. But now it's cooled down again. So it's kind of, it's all over the place, the weather. We just had another heat wave and stuff, and it's been really hard to sort of, it hasn't hit that point where it's just like sort of consistent. So it's been screwing with my insomnia quite a lot. And I'm still technically nocturnal. I can't sleep at night. I'm making myself go to bed at night, and I'm waking up. So today I've been up since 6:30ish. It's now just about 12. I just played WoW for a little while, and then went to the shops to do a few things. But I haven't actually slept, so yeah. But I'm not allowing myself to take naps and stuff. I'm trying to make myself sleep at night because it's bad. But yes, I went to the shops and yeah, so I got, these are for Andrew, and these are a bribe because I would like him to take me to Spotlight in Penrith on Thursday night because they're open late Thursday nights. And the reason for that I will get to. I haven't unpacked my bags yet, obviously. So I got this stuff. It's magnetic tape. Because I have a little whiteboard that I write things on. And then I got these, so everything is everywhere at the moment because I am in the process of cleaning again. I bought these like multicolour, there's more multicolour whiteboard markers. There's a little magnet thing on the back, but I don't want to keep them on the whiteboard. So I thought about getting some of this stuff, which is like, it's magnetic tape, so it's sticky on the back, but this end, like this side's not, and it's magnetic. So I thought I might put like a little strip of it somewhere on the wall and stick them on because, let's see if, yeah. it will stick quite nicely. So, yeah. So I got picked up that. Plus, who knows, I could find other ways to use it. See what happens. I went to the library. I'm kind of annoyed because there's a reading challenge that so, Goodreads this year, I'm going for 150 books. I ended up dropping last year's one, like my 2016 one, to 120 books. Ended up reading 124 books by the end of the year. I wasn't going to get to 175. So this year I've put it back up to 150. And I'm also taking part in a challenge called Read Around Australia. So I have to read 36 books set in Australia with a minimum of 3 per state. They have to be written by Australian authors. So I've been compiling a list. I have, it's about 90 something books on this list, all up. And I just went to my local library to see if I could pick up a couple, and I found none. I didn't look at all of them because their computers are really slow, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go home, use my computer, look them up, and I'll get them to reserve it. I'll just go pick them up when they're in. But I did pick up some other stuff. So I picked up this graphic novel, which looked interesting. Yeah, it's, I didn't even read the blurb, truthfully. It just, the cover stood out to me, so I grabbed it. I got, The Moon is Down by John Steinbeck, just because it's a really little book. And it's something about, like a conquered people or something, and they're waiting for revenge. I picked up Vancouver by Nick Earls. This is one of he's got a 6-book series called The Wisdom Tree or something, and they're all just novellas, and they're all standalones. I read the first one in the series, which is called Gotham, yesterday, and it was really good. Like, they're quite short, they're about 130 pages, but they're really detailed and stuff, and yeah, really good. So I picked up this one. They've got the other ones on order, so hopefully I'll get them soon. And then I picked up Soundless by Rochelle Mead. This is a YA that I had on my list for a while, and I saw it there. It's like, yeah, why not? And it's no one in their village can hear. They're all deaf. But people start to lose their sight, and something happens, and one of the girls in the village can apparently start to hear and stuff, which, I mean, it's sort of, part of me is like hesitant with this book, because it sort of feels like oh look, they're deaf, but now they can suddenly hear, and now they can save everyone, because they're not deaf anymore. But, we'll see. We'll see. And then I just got some noodles from Aldi, because I like the Aldi 2-minute noodles better than any. But the reason I went out was to go to Spotlight, because they are getting rid of one of their lines of Ada. They're getting rid of the Semco Adas, so they have 70% off. So I went to see what I could find. So I got, there's like a half a meter of 14 count white, and there is half a meter of 16 count in the like creamy sort of color that's not showing up. It's not white. It's not white. It's, yeah, it's like the creamy color. But because that was all they had. And then there was like a little scrap piece of the 14 count that she gave me for nothing. But, so all up I have a meter. Half a meter of 14, half a meter of 16. And it cost me $10. So I bought the Jersey Caramels because I'm going to bribe Andrew to take me to the Penrith store, which is bigger and will hopefully have more stock, Thursday night. Because that's the thing that I want to do. Because they've also got the pre-cut ones on sale, and the only ones they had at my local Spotlight were the creamy yellow ones. And because I want to play around with some dyeing ideas, I want the white. Because yeah, the pre-cut ones, they're 50 by 54 centimeters, $1 something, they're like $1.70. I need them. Well, not need, but then I stopped at the Vinnie's. It's like it's an op shop just next door to it. I found a Nirvana tank top for $3, which I will wash. This dress, which is, it's just like a summer sort of maxi dress kind of thing, but it's got this really nifty sort of thing. I'm like, yeah, why not? It's going to be hot. I don't want to wear black all the time. And the other reason I grabbed those is because they've got a $10 minimum for FPOS, which annoys me. But I found Ada. So there's 2 pink and 2 blue. And they are, it looks like 14 count. And they're 30 centimeters. Yeah, so 30 centimeters by 30 centimeters. So yeah, 2 pink and 2 light blue. Yeah. And they were $1 each. So yeah. More things that I can play around with. Yes. So today is just pretty much going to be, I need to go clean the kitchen. I need to go do that because, yeah. This afternoon we are doing groceries when Andrew gets home. I think we're going to go to the shops and do it. And in between doing the kitchen and then groceries later on tonight, I'm just going to do whatever I feel like doing. Whether that's just play some games or do some cleaning or sorting or organising or something. Yeah, I've been doing lots of cleaning and stuff lately. So, yeah, it's not a bad thing. Oh, and I am waiting for several orders to dispatch that I've ordered over the last couple of weeks. One of them being the colouring books that I bought from OzSale. My second payment for them has come out, but they haven't dispatched yet. I got a Lincraft order online because they had a 50% off everything. So I got the few DMC threads that I was missing that they had online. I was gonna look at their other, like the more expensive DMC ones, but they didn't have any online. And I just didn't have the time or money to go to my nearest store, which is a couple of towns over. So I didn't end up getting those. But I did get a Johanna Basford colouring canvas for $7.50 in the sale. So I'm still waiting on them to send that out. What else? Officeworks. I got an Officeworks order. And I'm almost tempted to message them and just be like, hey, just, fucking get it all together, I'll come fucking pick it up from a store, because I'm waiting for them to send it out to me as well. And that is because I'm sick of the way all of my printed patterns and like my loose patterns and leaflets and stuff are organised, so I want to redo those. So I've ordered some big lever arch files. I'm going to organise them properly and like a whole bunch of plastic sleeves and stuff, and I'm going to do it really nice. And I'm going to have to do it bit by bit, but they've got these lever arch files, like really big ones. They hold like 375 pages for $1.70. So yeah, I ordered 4 to begin with, and 1 pack of 300 sleeves. And once I'm finished with those, or once I'm ready to move on to the next sort of couple of folders, I can just go get some more. And then the only thing I've got to do is just organise the area where I'm going to be putting them. So, yeah. It's coming along. Like, I'm redoing things, I'm learning things. I've been playing around with CAD, which is like, you can design 3D stuff to 3D print. I was playing around with that, and I was playing around with a program called Sculptress, which is like a digital clay molding program. It's really buggy, so I'm not a huge fan of it. I think overall I just prefer to work with actual clay, which is another thing that I've been thinking of getting back into, is clay and just, yeah, sculpting and stuff. I haven't done it for a really long time, but I'm kind of interested in getting back into it. I'm wanting to get more into the miniature painting as well, but I need to start getting some paints and stuff so I can. And I've decided that, like, for colouring and art and stuff like that too, I have a nice set of pencils now. I've got my Jazz Art pencils. I've got my watercolour pencils. I use the fine liners, but I don't have, like, markers. And I've been looking at markers, and I've always been drawing over the Copics, but they're really pricey in Australia. They're really expensive, and I don't know whether I really need something that high end. So I couldn't really justify it. So I got to test out some Tombow brush markers. So I'm actually going to go with those ones. And eventually I'm going to start getting some of those. Yeah, because I really like them. They're good to draw with and stuff. Like, I use the blender anyway for my watercolor pencils, and I just dropped it. So I want to get those at some point. The only problem is they don't sell them as a set. Ow. Copics you can get, like, as a set, but they don't sell. I haven't seen any anyway. I haven't seen any Tombow brush markers as a set, so I don't know. But yes, that is pretty much life at the moment. It's just, yeah, doing stuff and things and more stuff. So I'm gonna go start getting the kitchen clean so I can just sit and relax for a couple hours. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.